Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Movies podcast. I'm your host, Gabe Litvak, and I'm joined here with Patrick Burrow once again. I just want to wish all of you a happy new year before we get started. Let's hope this year is a lot fucking better than the previous year, because 2020 sucked ass. Alright, so, this has been something I've been wanting to talk about for years now. This is pretty relevant, and it has to do with the word vision. So I want to start by kind of giving me and Patrick's basic definition of what we think vision means. Patrick, you want to start with that?
Well, in my opinion, vision means having the Mind Stone ripped out of your head to then have a big purple behemoth destroy the universe.
Yeah, that's exactly what vision means, man. To me, it means well, that was your joke definition. I'll do my real
Yeah,
definition, then you'll do your real definition, right?
yeah.
Cool. All right. So vision to me is something that people use to get something out in terms of a piece of media, an art form, basically just anything in general, if I'm being honest. And there have been multiple cases where vision has been something that has driven something to be great. And there has been we're actually gonna list a ton of examples this podcast. But all right, Patrick, what does it mean to you, man?
For me, it's more or less the fact that someone's passionate about one thing and want to provide it to other people for not just their enjoyment, but also to immerse themselves into another world, whether it's for an escape or an experience. And a vision is something that more or less means respect as well, whether it's based on source material or whether it's someone's opinion on how something should work or go about things. And just bringing something to life to have other people witness because this is something that they're passionate about.
All right,
Um,
now topic time. Today we are going to be talking about the infamous Last Jedi and the infamous Last of Us Part 2. And the reason why we're going to talk about this is because we can both agree that both of these things have been blatantly disrespected in a lot of ways. To me, it is one way to have an opinion about something, and it is a totally different thing to completely disrespect the people who made this project because they love it. Probably the greatest example I want to use right now is The Last Jedi, and solely for the reason because for a while, I actually personally I love The Last Jedi, and for a while, people's disrespect on other people's opinions made it not fun to talk about Star Wars for about 2 years, which is terrible, and that shouldn't be the case. Again, it is a different thing to have an opinion on a movie, but it is also a different thing to completely disrespect someone's vision and completely disrespect what someone thinks about it. It is fucking ridiculous.
I'm the exact same way in regards to the fact of it's just not fun to talk about Star Wars anymore. Like, as Gabe said, there's a difference in that little gray area in between hating something for the sake of hating it, but also providing general criticism in regards to your emotions and also your perspective on how a piece of media or film is provided, whether it's video games, TV shows, movies, etc., even art. Someone can go to an art gallery and be like, hey, look, it's just a banana on top of a fucking mountain that didn't do shit in a picture. But to others, that's impressive art. The same thing goes for anything in regards to video games and movies, and TV shows even, because everything is an art form in that case.
Mm-hmm.
And everything I feel, whether it's good, bad, or whatever, needs to be respected unless it's in a distasteful way, such as, movies like Cuties and all that,
Yeah.
which,
Mm-hmm.
I've been unfortunate enough to see, and I would defend the movie if it was more than
Yeah.
just the blatant, sexualizing of young girls. But when the message in the film is don't do that, but they do that in regards to actually the film itself and production, that's gross.
Yes.
Um, and that's where there's something called loss of credibility. With The Last Jedi, there is a vision. Same thing goes to The Last of Us Part
Yeah.
2.
And listen, and listen,
And
and listen. The Last Jedi, I know all of you are going to be like, no, that's bullshit. That's not true. Ryan Johnson loves Star Wars. He does. And you can see it in his vision for The Last Jedi. You can see it spread all over the movie, whether you like it or not. And it's stupid to me that people have gone up to him and tweeted him being like, you're an idiot, you're stupid, your vision doesn't fucking matter. It's ridiculous, guys. It's a fucking movie. It's a movie. And the same thing can be said about The Last of Us, Part 2. Neil Druckmann had a vision, and he did what he wanted because he loves these characters and he loves the world this takes place in. And people, again, tweeted him, started accusing him for things that never happened, and started doing a lot of terrible things like sending death threats. And it got to the point where it's just fucking ridiculous. It's just ridiculous to begin with. This kind of stuff really sets me off, and this is why I want to talk about this, because the media has a very huge tendency to blow things out of proportion. For God's sakes, it's just a piece of media. It is not... Look, something else I hate is that people try and make it political. It's not political. You can't make The Last Jedi political. It is a Star Wars movie.
Can you make The Last of Us
political? You can't make The Last of Us Part 2 political. Yes, it says stuff about our human nature and what we do to
society.
People. And society. But it doesn't mean it's a fucking political movie. It just is a part of the story. It is a goddamn piece of media. It has nothing to do, it has no relevance whatsoever in today's political stance. It has nothing to do with that. Yes, some movies have an agenda, but a lot of them don't. And when people try and make them about this political agenda, it makes me mad. Because they start to disrespect the movie in that regard, even when that is not what the movie is doing.
And therefore also in the process disrespecting the filmmakers.
Yeah. Look, man, I understand that people cannot like a movie. And look, if you don't like The Last Jedi, good. I'm so happy for you. If you want to comment down below and have a great debate about it and talk about it with me respectfully,
in a civil manner,
I'd be happy to talk about it with you because I want to hear everyone's opinion about it. I want to talk to people who don't agree with me because that's the fun of talking about movies. When I see people just calling each other idiots and accusing each other of doing something that they didn't, it really just turns into something else, and it turns into a problem, which is why I stopped talking about Star Wars for a pretty long time. I did. I stopped.
I still don't like talking about Star Wars because the moment that I feel like we got back into the place of an enjoyable place talking about Star Wars, The Mandalorian Season 2 Episode 8 comes out. And spoilers for those who haven't seen The Mandalorian Season 2 Episode 8, but Luke Skywalker returns, and then all of a sudden I see all this bullshit on the internet, such as Twitter, YouTube, and everything, all over again. All these clickbait video articles and thumbnails and shit about this is the real Luke Skywalker, The Last Jedi didn't have the real Luke Skywalker. I'm just like, this is someone's vision that you're completely disrespecting. And that goes for anything. I may not like the new Monster Hunter movie, but one thing I said in my review is I respect the effort that Paul W.S. Anderson went to actually make a film. And I can clearly tell in this that he is trying from certain elements. You give credit where credit is due without just completely and utterly bashing something for no reason just because you are pissed off that it's not the way that you wanted it to. The thing is, the fans are not in control. It is the studio and the filmmakers, and that's how it always is and should be. Never misunderstand the fact that the fans are involved in the production or what goes in any way, because they are not. Which is what pisses me off the most about the entire situation with The Last of Us and The Last Jedi, because the fans feel like they have this entire hearsay thing in regards to how it should go. No, just because you say you feel it should go this way, it doesn't mean that's how it should go, because it is not your vision. You're not the one making it. And the other thing I want to say is, how about you try doing what these people do within the art form, and how about you try making this film?
Yeah, regardless.
Or this video game, because of the fact that this is one of the hardest industries to work in ever.
Yeah, and regardless on how you feel, hundreds to thousands of people work on these things a day for you. They do it for you. They do it because they want to provide something amazing for you. You may not agree with their vision, but they're doing it all for you. A lot of these filmmakers are not even doing it for the money. For fuck's sake, Rian Johnson made The Last Jedi because he loves Star Wars. Fucking Neil Druckmann made The Last of Us Part 2 because he loves the world of The Last of Us, and he wanted to do something different from it. I bet he didn't give a single shit about the money. He wanted his vision to be out there. And he's even talked about this. He talked about it on a podcast with Troy Baker. And I remember how impacted he was by the first game, that he was so happy that he actually got the directing reign for The Last of Us Part 2. And he was super excited to get on top of it. And he made something amazing.
It pisses me off as well, because this is someone's vision that has completely been and utterly disregarded. And I put myself in their shoes and be like, how would I feel if this was my vision and it was being treated this way? And there are people out there who do have general criticisms about the game. I do have my minor issues with the game. I have my minor issues with The Last of Us. I mean, what is it? The Last Jedi. So what? Everyone has issues. There's no such thing as a perfect game or a perfect movie or a perfect show. There is no such thing in existence. If you think there is, you are an idiot.
Yeah. And here's the thing, man. Like, I'm going to say this. Again, this is kind of repetitive, but what these type of people seem to do is completely disregard the fact that hundreds of thousands of people work on these things a day. And it's ridiculous, because you look at them and you look at their hard work and you're like, wow, they spend years on this, and it shows. When, again, it is different to have an opinion, but when you completely disrespect the project and you go to the person who made it or the people who made it and you tell them that they're idiots and that their opinion doesn't matter and that their vision doesn't matter, that is a whole different ballpark, and it's stupid, and it completely takes our focus away from what we should be focusing on, which is studio interference. A great example of this is Zack Snyder's Justice League. He had a family tragedy. His daughter killed himself, and he was going to mourn. He was going to stop doing Justice League for a little bit so he could go mourn for his dead daughter. Nope, the studio was like, you know what? We want to make money as soon as we can, so we are going to hire an entirely new writer, director, and we're going to redo the entire movie. It doesn't matter how you feel, Zack Snyder, you're a fucking asshole. So they just did that. That's what we should be focusing on. That is an instance where I think the fans do matter. They do have a say in what happens, because they're trying to help a man who is just trying to get their vision out there in the first place. That's the kind of stuff
exactly.
We should be focusing on.
When it comes to the fans actually coming to an aid or whatever, there's a difference between completely saying what should go and saying what needs to. When I say that, I mean what should go is the fans completely disregarding someone's vision and everything and not giving them a chance to actually tell it and saying that vision's shit. For no reason, by the way. Mm-hmm. Whereas, in regards to what should happen, I'm talking about stuff such as, you know, Zack Snyder, where he should have been given his vision, not handed the rights over to someone else to then completely remake his vision. Like, that's bullshit. That's bullshit, and not giving him the chance, which is why I'm so happy that the fans in this case did step up to the table and decided, hey, let's actually get Zack Snyder to do his movie that he wanted to make from the beginning.
Yeah, and the thing is, again, it really shows, because there are different fan bases where you do see the right thing being what is the word I'm looking for? Being in, the right thing happening, and then you see instances where the fan base is actually the ones ruining the vision of so many incredible filmmakers. You see it, and look, even with Patrick's great example with Monster Hunter, he may not like that movie, but he respects the vision behind it, because again, people worked on that, and they did it because they love the people they're making it for. Yes, there are obviously filmmakers who just make movies just to gain a quick buck. It's a fact. But
actually, really quickly, I want to pull up a really damn good fucking example right here, and that's the Silent Hill movie.
Okay.
That director was so passionate about making a Silent Hill movie and was rejected for years. Mm-hmm. But he finally got his vision made after, I believe it was either providing a script that he self-funded or creating a short film that he self-funded himself, just to show how passionate he is and that he actually wants to make the best possible product. You know what then happened? When he was given the rights, the studio fucking interfered and made him add stuff he did not want to add into the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Initially, there was no male characters. Sean Bean was never in that movie initially. But that was for the intensity of the film and not make it feel over-bloated. In the end, what do we get? A movie that is quite terrifying and true to the video games, but at the same time has a lot of issues because the vision was meddled with by the studio interfering and them saying, nope, you need to add in this character, which added no levity to the story or the characters whatsoever.
Yeah, don't disrespect a vision just because you don't agree with it.
Exactly, and that's from fans to studios,
Yep.
executives, producers, you name it.
Yep, it applies to literally everyone. And again, when people do stuff like this to movies just because they're different or just because they go in a different direction, you see this thing where it causes so much unnecessary traction and controversy to the point where it just becomes tiring to talk about. And people who go out of their way years later just to make it all about politics and stuff, it just baffles me because it's a project. It's something that these people so clearly made with so much love and passion because they love what they do. It isn't because they just want money or they want to disrespect the fans. They're doing it because they love what they're working on. I think The Last of Us Part 2 and Last Jedi are the perfect examples of that. I think even Monster Hunter is a good example of that, if I'm being honest.
And Silent Hill as well. Like, I don't know if you've seen that movie, but I'm someone who actually really enjoys that movie, as not only being a fan of movies, but of the video games as well. And it's a really good movie for the most part. Great intensity, has brought in some great elements from the video games. But my big problem is the studio meddling and interference. That movie was panned when it first came out because, you know, people didn't like video game movies back then for no reason as well. Mm-hmm. It's a genuinely really well-made movie, and I highly recommend a lot of you actually give it a chance and check it out if you haven't seen it or, you know, it's been a long time since you've watched it. The fact of the matter is that movies, no matter what genre, no matter what their story is, all deserve a chance.
They do. I agree. And again, if you don't like something, that's fine. Please talk about it with us. We'd love to talk about shit like this with you because different opinions matter. Every opinion matters. And I want to make that clear is that we're not saying that you guys can't talk about a movie. No, please be my guest. Have an opinion on it. If you don't like certain movies, that's great. Like, I totally respect that. And I can totally see where you're coming from, and I would love to talk to you about it because, again, I just want to talk movies. That's what I've wanted to do my entire life, and that's what I'm doing. And seeing this and seeing these movies being put in a place of just pure disrespect, and video games as well, just seeing these things being put into complete disrespect, it makes me really angry. Because I understand that a lot of these people worked hard on them. And it's sad that this is even still a thing. Like, guys, we're at a point in society where we should be able to just respect each other's opinions. God damn it. Look, it's also just distracting us from what we should be focusing on in Hollywood. It's distracting us on a lot of different things. Not just the things we've talked about already. It's distracting us from a lot of things. And we should be more vigilant in that area of Hollywood. Let's not completely pan each other and disrespect each other because we have a different view on things. Let's come together and make these filmmakers be able to have a vision that they want to be shown. That's what we should be doing right now. We shouldn't be making movies that are clearly not what they are. We shouldn't be making movies political when they're not. We shouldn't be making movies seem like this when they're not. That's not what we should be doing. And it's ridiculous. And
it's
a lot
actually
of this,
infuriating.
Yeah, it's infuriating. And look, Patrick didn't like the new Wonder Woman movie. I did.
Yeah, I was literally thinking about that myself. Like, the most recent example of this I can think of is the new Wonder Woman movie. There are a lot of people out there who are really, really loving that movie. And you know what? Awesome. Yeah. But I personally, I didn't like it at all.
Yeah.
But Gabe loves the movie, and we've actually had discussions on it, and we both respect each other's opinions and understand where we are coming from on each side of the equation.
And something
And
else,
if
something. Oh, sorry. And something else we don't do is we don't make it political. We talk about the
no,
movie.
we talk about the movie, the issues, whether it's from the narrative, the story, the way they handled the narrative, or the writing, the characters, in regards to the overall technical elements behind it. If we had that with everything, whether it's The Last of Us Part 2, The Last Jedi, Monster Hunter, Resident Evil, video games, movies, and TV in general, I think that the industry would not be in the situation it is right now. We'd all be able to respect each other. I don't think Twitter would be as fucked as it is. And on we go. I also think the same thing applies for stuff such as the whole Amber Heard Johnny Depp thing. We're not a part of the court case. Just stay out of it. Stop making up all this bullshit article stuff, whether it's true or not, on Twitter or anything just to get a click. Don't do that. You're not a part of the case. You're not a part of the jury. You're not the judge. Stay the fuck out of it. Just let it be. I do believe that if Johnny Depp was asked to leave production for Fantastic Beasts, that Amber Heard should have been too. Great. Awesome. If they did that, cool. I think it should be fair like that, but it wasn't. But at the same time, I'm not going to pan Warner Brothers. I'm not going to fucking shit on Amber Heard for it, no matter what she did or didn't do. The same thing goes for what Kevin Spacey did. I still watch Baby Driver to this day and really love his performance, but I don't judge him because of the person he is. And I'm not going to do that for Amber Heard either. I will judge due to the talent and also the person on camera, not the person she is. Because I don't think that's fair to the rest of the people that are making the film as well. There are hundreds of people, as Gabe said, work on these movies. It's not just Amber Heard, and boycotting a movie just because of one fucking person is just as bad as not respecting another person's opinion and making a movie, issue or video game issues political. It's actually worse, in my opinion.
Yeah. And what Patrick's saying, it makes total sense. It's about respect. And again, I'm going to go back to The Last Jedi. When something is different, and it's because clearly Rian Johnson just wanted to do something different and wanted to have his take on Star Wars because he loved it so much, you can not like it, yeah, but you don't get to fucking go to him and send him death threats and disrespect what he made and be like, yeah, you're an idiot for what you made. That's not okay. You can totally disagree with what he did. And I actually know some people who do disagree with what he did, and that's fine. And I talk to them about it, but respectfully, and they understand my opinion too. And that's what the discussion of The Last Jedi, and that's what the discussion of The Last of Us Part 2, and that's what discussion of every movie should be, no matter what.
Like, I have people out there in my personal life who don't like The Shawshank Redemption, which is Gabe and I's favorite movie of all time. But we listen to them, we understand, even though we may not agree, we respect their opinion. Same thing should go with The Last Jedi, Last of Us Part 2, Last of Us Part 2, and any form of film, as Gabe said. Whether you're talking about old films like The Shawshank Redemption or new films such as the, upcoming Last Night in Soho or A Quiet Place Part 2, the new Saw movie, Godzilla vs. Kong. Like, I haven't liked any of the Godzilla or King Kong movies. I haven't, I'm being honest. But I'm going to give Godzilla vs. Kong a fair shot. If I like it, I like it. If I don't like it, I don't like it.
So please.
It's a matter of also going in optimistic and not ready to hate it because of fucking leaks that went out for The Last of Us Part 2. There were so many people that made an opinion in reviews on a game when they hadn't even played it just because of leaks. Are you fucking kidding me? There are tons of content creators I lost a ton of respect for and even unsubscribed from because of this very bullshit.
Yeah, and look, we're going to leave you on these 5 things. Respect the filmmaker's vision. Respect each other's opinions. Don't make a movie or a game political unless it's supposed to be. And for the love of fucking God, stop sending death threats to these people. It is dumb. It is stupid. It is really, really bad. And it just shows how much our society needs to fucking change already.
And how
Get over it, man.
Society actually needs to pull their heads out of their asses and grow the fuck up. Not only that, like Rian Johnson, Laura Bailey, Neil Druckmann, Troy Baker, none of these people deserved the death threats. Even rape threats went to fucking Laura Bailey. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Guys,
I saw those tweets. Those people honestly, like I'm actually blown away that just because you didn't like a video game, you would actually send death threats and rape threats to someone, not just to her, but also her family and children. That is beyond fucking gross. That is actually sick.
And look, here's another thing. I'm actually going to do this directly to some YouTubers out there. Geek and gamers, pull your fucking head out of your goddamn ass and stop making things political, stop making controversies, stop fucking disrespecting people who like what Disney is putting out with Star Wars and what The Last of Us Part 2 did and what any piece of media did. Stop disrespecting the creators. Stop disrespecting everything that is happening in this industry. You have no fucking say in that. You don't. I'm sorry. It's not your fucking vision. You may be a fan, but that is not something that you just get to fucking shit on, alright? You can have an opinion on it. You can have a fucking opinion on it. You can have an opinion on it, alright? But you cannot go to them and tell them that they're fucking stupid just because they want to do something different or because they made something that they love to make, alright? It's fucking ridiculous. You want to be a filmmaker yourself? You want to be a game designer yourself? You're going to learn this the real fucking hard way, man. You're going to learn it in a horribly hard way if you keep this shit up. Alright? I'm sick of it. I'm fucking sick of it. And I just to end this thing off, I want to fucking... oh my god. Look. I just want to read some of the shit he has made and some of the titles of his videos. Alright? Okay, this goes back to Last of Us Part 2, a few months ago, alright? PewDiePie's reaction to The Last of Us Part 2 speaks for all gamers. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. You saying that is basically disregarding every single fucking person who likes the game. And look, I've even watched the video, and it goes in depth in this. And you can see that he doesn't respect anyone who likes this game. Same goes for a lot of shit that has happened. He has made a shit ton of things political for no fucking reason. Here's another thing. This is fake news. This has never happened. Kathleen Kennedy says she doesn't care about male Star Wars fans. What are your thoughts on that, Patrick?
She's never actually said anything of the kind. Yep. She respects all Star Wars fans. Yes, I don't agree with some of the stuff she has said in the past, but doesn't mean I'm going to disrespect her as, you know, a producer, as an executive. It doesn't mean I'm going to disrespect her and the stuff that she does, because she actually does care about Star Wars and the community quite a lot. Yes, she said some controversial stuff in the past, but doesn't mean I'm going to shit on her as a person as a whole.
And here's another one. Woke Batwoman trailer. The definition of cringe. Listen, you can think it's cringy, you can have your own opinion, but the way you speak on it just shows that you just don't respect anyone who actually likes that shit.
Can we also just stop saying that, like, the movie tried to be so woke it actually is embarrassing? Can we stop saying that, considering a lot of you who say that on the internet obviously don't even know what that fucking means? And trying to make it political when that's not even what the movie's trying to do. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah,
that's something that doesn't need to be fucking said in a title, doesn't need to be said in a video. Judge the film for what it is, not for apparently being woke.
Yeah, you need,
Jesus is what they need.
Oh, here's another one. IGN gets wrecked over Last of Us Part 2, forced to apologize. Here's what I'm going to say about this.
I read an article yesterday
here's what I'm going to say about this.
Stood by that grade in regards to the 10 out of 10, and guess what? I stand by my 9.5 out of 10, and I'm also playing The Last of Us
Plus.
I'm also playing The Last of Us Part 2 as we're speaking, so...
Yeah, and here's another thing. This is how I respond to this. This IGN gets wrecked over The Last of Us Part 2, forced to apologize. It's a fucking opinion. It is an opinion. It is an opinion. If you don't like the game, fine. But that doesn't mean you get to disrespect everyone else's opinion on it. I'm sorry.
I think another thing as well is that IGN, a lot of people forget, is actually a fucking company, not just one bloody person.
Yeah.
And If you watch their videos saying, how long does The Last of Us Part 2 take to complete? There are people in there who struggled with the game and did not enjoy the experience, and they said that.
Yeah.
But the guy who reviewed it loved it. Cool.
Yeah.
But not everyone who played the game at IGN actually loved the game.
Mm-hmm.
There are people at IGN who did not like it, but there are actually a great handful that loved it. There are some that felt right in the middle. That's also just called having an opinion in how it works in regards to media.
And look, here's
No
another
matter
thing.
who you are.
Here's another thing about The Last of Us Part 2. Back when the game first came out, when it was released initially, its first 2 hours, people review bombed it on Metacritic. And first off, that's not okay for a lot of reasons. First off, you don't have a valid opinion on the game if you haven't fucking played it. And second off, it's just really wrong and really disrespectful to the creators if you're going to do that.
I'd really like to point out Tyrone Magnus for that.
Yeah.
Like, look, I don't like calling people out on the internet. I don't like that because I feel dirty doing it. But this is just something that pisses me off as someone who really wants to work in a similar industry, or even the industry of filmmaking itself, and maybe want to get a big project in such a big franchise one day. Yeah, cool. That is a dream of mine. And Gabe's as well. But here's the fucking thing. I also put myself in the shoes of the filmmakers who are having their fucking movies review bombed before it even comes out. Even video games. That is bullshit. And the fact that you guys haven't played it, Tyrone Magnus even said it and has had a lot of clickbait titles because of it and talks about a bunch of shit such as Metacritic gives 1.8 out of 10 rating for The Last of Us Part 2. IGN was wrong or some crap like that. Are you kidding me? Like, there was proof of it being review bombed.
That's another
and
thing.
people just... Because, guess what? It had a 1.8 out of 10 from over something like 2,500 people plus about 3 days before the game even came out.
Yep. Here's another thing.
When there's only a select people that get to play the game when it comes out. Before it comes out, sorry.
Here's another thing. Stop making up shit just to prove your point. Stop being like, oh, this is proof that Neil Druckmann doesn't care about his fans. Stop making shit up. Because that is just fucking depressing. In a lot of ways.
I actually pity a lot of you who say that bullshit.
Making up shit, being like, oh, these reviews are fake because they love the game. That is also complete bullshit. Going to people like Schmoes Know and Chris Stuckman who have reviewed The Last Jedi and say they love it, and being like, oh, you were paid by Disney to say you love it. Grow up, man.
I've had that so many fucking times on my Milan review. I had it on my Soul review recently. And you know what? I've gotten to the point where I just don't care. Or I've gone into my community tab on YouTube with my settings and have actually asked those types of comments to be held for review.
Yep.
Because I don't want them on my channel. I don't care to read them. Because I never read my comments that I held for review because they are held for review for a reason and should not be on my channel. I don't read them for a reason.
Look, guys, we're going to have to end this episode in a few minutes, but I just want to leave you all with this. Respect the filmmaker's vision and respect each other's opinions, please. We are in a society today where we can do different things with different products and different types of media, and we can make visions and we can create things that we have never been able to create before. But please, when those things are made, just like The Last of Us Part 2 and Last Jedi, please, even if you don't like it, please respect each other about everything. Respect the filmmakers, respect the people who have a different opinion than you. Please, it's just all about respect. It's just all about being there for each other so that we can talk about this stuff in a respectful manner. It's about being together and coming together and just being film buffs. That's really it. It's about being what we want to be and talking about what we want to talk about. Nothing more, nothing less. If we can grow our society to a point where we can have different movies like The Last Jedi, if we can have different video games like The Last of Us Part 2, even if they are divisive, we can still respect each other's opinions about it. But something you cannot argue against the people, no matter how much you don't like it, is that these people put in hundreds to thousands of hours into them and have worked their fucking asses off trying to make something that people can love.
Can I also
That
just
is
mention
something you
really
cannot
quickly
argue
that
about.
if you get spoilers on the internet for a game or a movie, just stop fucking spoiling it for people before it
Yeah.
comes out and just respect the fact that they want to be surprised and immersed in the experience. That happened to me so many times while I was preparing for The Last of Us Part 2 that I actually had to have over 10 moderators who were willing to ruin their own experience of the game and spoilers so that I wasn't spoiled for when I did my live stream playthrough.
And here's another thing. When the leaks for The Last of Us Part 2, sadly, I was spoiled. I didn't like them. But you know what? I still gave it a chance because I respected the vision of these creators. And I fucking love that game now. It is actually my second favorite video game of all time.
It's my second favorite video game behind, what is it, Resident Evil 4, behind, yeah, just behind Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4 and The Last of Us Part 2 are my favorite video games of all time.
And that
I
speaks
like The
for
Last
what?
of Us Part 2 more than the first one due to the fact that it has a unique and different story.
Yeah.
And I actually was more engrossed in the characters this time due to the narrative they decided to tell.
Look, guys. Let's just be there for each other. And next time a divisive movie like this comes out, please let's just talk about it with respect, and let's agree to just be there, and just be there to talk about it, because that is the amazing thing about film and video games. They are completely subjective.
Exactly.
And
And if you can't actually come to terms or respect each other's opinions or can't see where they're coming from, do what I have to do sometimes, because sometimes I don't see where people are coming from in regards to hate or love for a film. I don't understand what one of my friends, sees in Star Wars Attack of the Clones, but I won't disrespect his opinion.
yeah,
I will just agree to disagree.
I'll just respect them. Again, I will
Exactly.
respect them no matter how they feel. And that is
Exactly.
totally
Whether
fine.
you agree or not, or whether you can see it or not, where they are coming from.
And look, again, one more time, you cannot argue that these people have made these things out of love. You can't argue that.
No one can.
No one can. And if you can't see that, and if you keep disrespecting these game designers and these filmmakers and these directors, well, then you're part of the problem, man. The Star
You're
Wars
actually
fan
the
base
primary
is what
reason
killed
to
Star
control.
Wars. The Star Wars fan base is what killed Star Wars. The Last of Us Part 2 fan base is what almost killed The Last of Us for me, but thankfully it didn't.
No, because Druckmann has said that the Last of Us journey is not over, that part 3 will happen.
Yeah.
And you know what? I cannot fucking wait. Whether I like that game or not, and whether you like that game or not, respect it.
Please. Respect
Like,
everyone's vision for a film or a video game. Respect all of them. Please. No matter
here's
how
an
much you feel
example.
about it. Hell, I'll even put Empty Man here. I think that game is kind of an insult to filmmaking. But I'm not going to disrespect the filmmaker and his vision, or the people who made it and their vision. I am not going to
Same
disrespect
thing with
it.
Slenderman.
I am not going to disrespect it. It is just what I think. I'm not going to disrespect it, because they did put hard work into it, and they did put a lot of their love and heart into the movie. And in every single movie that has been made, and every single piece of media that has been made, it shows. No matter how much it sucks.
Yeah, like, say what you will about the Michael Bay Transformers movies, but he at least tried.
Yeah. It's because he
And
cared. I hate those
I
movies,
don't
but I could tell he cared.
I don't like the fact that when I did my Empty Man review and my Cuties review, that I went off my top, that I was yelling the entire time.
Yep.
I don't like that. I don't like that I did that. I actually hate myself for it. But, no, this is their vision, and I try to respect that no matter how much I hate it.
Alright, we can agree that Cutie was just kind of an exception, though.
Cuties was an exception, but even stuff like Empty Man or, what is it, like, even Slender Man.
Yep.
Like, Slender Man's awful.
Unless a movie is being blatantly disrespectful to a certain race, religion, or is exploiting something super messed up, the vision should be respected.
Exactly. That's how it always should be.
Yeah. So that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this very heated debate, or not really debate, this really heated conversation about media, the media.
Mania and the big problem with it these days.
Yep. Well, until then, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. I know I did. This is actually something that is very cathartic for me. So I had a really good time talking about it. It felt really good to let all of that out, especially onto the internet. This is actually a podcast episode I'm going to be spreading around for quite a while because I need people to hear this.
Yeah.
So until then, guys, stay tuned for more podcast episodes and more movie reviews coming soon. And go check out my buddy Patrick Burrow at youtube.com/Patrick Burrow.
I don't even know what. I don't even know what. It's a random URL.
Yeah.
I've never personalized it.
Look. Just type in Patrick Burrow on YouTube and it'll come up.
One on OS.
And I'll also put it in the description. So until then, guys, have a very happy new year, and we will see you guys later.
And happy golfing.
Yeah.